Shifting focus for now. Explosions rocking the night sky. Firefighters battling raging fires. Civilians fleeing in terror. We are talking about what's happening in Sanaa, Yemen's capital. This is the devastating aftermath. Firefighters battling flames at a ceramics factory, people rushing to aid the injured, and rubble-strewn streets. The Houthis claim 7 people were killed in the latest strikes, with 29 injured. In fact, the US has been targeting Houthi positions west of Sanaa. The campaign codenamed Operation Rough Rider is only intensifying by the day.
طيران أمريكي على مصنع الربلات.
The US military Central Command released footage of ammunition being ready for more strikes, in fact. Take a look. The latest strikes coming a day after Houthis' daring missile attack. The Houthis claim one of the missiles targeted the Stot Micha air base, where, according to reports, Israel holds nuclear-capable missiles. In fact, while the other missile was aimed at the airport, Israel's air defenses intercepted one missile. The second reportedly fell short, mirroring previous Houthi attempts. The U.S. campaign, which started on March 15, has already claimed over 120 lives, according to Houthi health authorities. The strikes have targeted radar systems, air defenses, ballistic missile launch sites, aiming to cripple the Houthis' ability to attack commercial vessels and naval assets in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. The Houthis, despite the 1-month-long aerial attack by the US, remaining a potent fighting force. The Iran-backed rebels have now claimed to have shot down another US MQ-9 Reaper drone, in fact, marking the 4th such incident. The Trump administration has emphasized the necessity of these strikes to actually deter the Houthi aggression and protect international shipping lanes. The defense secretary has stated that America is prepared to escalate the operations if required to prevent further threats. The attacks on the Houthis also seen as a tool to deter the backer Iran. These strikes coming at a time when Washington and Tehran are holding talks on Saturday. The Iranian foreign minister and the US Middle East envoy held a first round of talks via Omani mediation in Muscat, and this was the highest level Iran-US nuclear negotiation since the collapse of the 2015 accord. That's how crucial it is. And the next round of the indirect talks between the US and Iran over Tehran's nuclear program will be held in Rome. France welcomed the ongoing indirect talks but insisted that Europe would be vigilant. Its security concerns were taken into account. Shifting focus for now, world markets are back in green after the tariff turmoil, which wiped out over $12 trillion US dollars. But now there is some sense of calm. The US stock markets opening in the green, the US dollar, in fact, also regaining some ground. This comes as investors grappled with the latest twists and turns in Trump's trade tango. On Friday, we heard BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, saying that the US may be heading for a recession. Now, White House assuring that there are no chances of that happening while defending the policies of the American president. Listen in.
I think the equilibrium policies of the president are going to be very, very good for the country and for equities. If you think about it, we've got a massive tax bill that includes both individual side things for workers and lots of corporate things that would be a positive price shock for markets when realized if there's uncertainty about the tax bills.
But the tariff drama is far from over. On Saturday, a U.S. Customs notice said that smartphones, computers, some other electronic devices would be excluded from the 125% tariff on goods entering the country from China. But later, Trump's team said it is pursuing fresh tariffs against many items, including semiconductors, over the next week. And Trump says Chinese-made smartphones and other electronics will not be exempt from tariffs. Devices like smartphones, laptops rely on semiconductors, remember, which are small and powerful pieces of technology that, in a way, form the basic building blocks of modern computation. Beijing has called on Washington to completely cancel his tariffs regime and return to the right path of mutual respect. And China has also halted exports of critical minerals and ores to the US, which are important to automakers, aerospace manufacturers, semiconductor companies, defense contractors around the world. On the 4th of April, the Chinese government ordered export restrictions on 7 heavy rare earth metals that are completely mined in China, as well as rare earth metals. China produces over 90% of some of the world's most critical rare earth minerals, and the new export restrictions could sever their supply lines to users around the world. The US has only one rare earths mine. It is heavily dependent on imports, most of the supply coming from China. And according to reports, the Chinese government is drafting a new regulatory system for exports. And while the policies are being framed, the shipments of the magnets, almost everything ranging from cars to missiles, have been halted at many Chinese ports. Industry experts are now concerned that if the export halt lasts longer than 2 months, it could deplete the existing stockpiles of these minerals built up by the customers. The official crackdown on exports is part of Beijing's retaliation against US President Donald Trump's trade war. And the latest move could further ratchet up the trade tensions between the world's 2 largest economies and also leave American manufacturers scrambling for fresh supplies for the critical minerals that they have heavily relied upon. NVIDIA has said that it is working with partners to design and build factories that will manufacture AI supercomputers entirely in America for the first time. Russia is all set to transform its navy and boost its prowess via an ambitious modernization program. The Russian president has announced that an amount close to $100 billion will be allocated for the development of the navy over the next 10 years. Let's tell you more. During a meeting in St. Petersburg, Putin confirmed that Russia has built 49 naval ships over the past 5 years, as well as commissioned strategic nuclear-powered missile submarines that can help establish Russia as a formidable force in the domain. Putin also said that Russia has made significant strides in the naval space, and the current initiative only seeks to revitalize its maritime capabilities, emphasizing advanced shipbuilding, cutting-edge missile technology and strategic realignment to address the evolving security landscape. But the question is, why was this necessary and why now? During the 3-year conflict in Ukraine, the Russian Navy has suffered significant losses, with Kiev claiming to have destroyed around a third of its Black Sea fleet by mid-2024. However, in recent months, Russia is trying to revamp its navy in an urgent fashion, especially as nuclear forces will be a critical focus of the next stage in its development. Commenting on its progress, Putin says Russian Navy's nuclear weapons have been fully modernized with the latest upgrades and technologies. He also urged that this must be maintained in the future as well, so that the Navy is fully prepared in the face of expanding maritime threats, as well as an increasingly uncertain and volatile global order. Listen to this.
I would like to note that in the coming 10 years, 8.4 trillion rubles have been allocated for the construction of new ships and vessels of the Navy, and these funds should be taken into account when forming the state armament program.
And this is significant to say the least. It charts the way for Putin's vision of crafting a new image for the Russian Navy. And as part of the overhaul plan, over 40 new ships will be added this year alone, surpassing previous annual figures. Additionally, new vessels will be constructed. Coastal components will be enhanced. Base infrastructure will be revamped to bolster the naval capabilities. But then, how smooth sailing will this plan actually be is the immediate question. While the naval modernization program is an ambitious one, it also faces several challenges like economic sanctions, technological hurdles, and of course the ongoing conflict in Ukraine that might impact the timely and effective implementation of the plan. Not just that, the loss of experienced personnel and the need for extensive training to operate advanced systems might also make things all the more complex. So will Russia be able to overcome these hurdles and stick to its guns? We'll have to wait and watch. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.